scoreboard rather than those two. But as you see, we are going to be heading into the game. So make sure you got yourself your beverage. Make sure you got yourself nice and snug in your seat. We're going to send you live with G2 versus Complexity here on Overpass.
Yeah, we get straight into the pistol round. G2, they're looking pretty heavy towards his B site as they push their way in. It's a very, very fast well, it will Complexity, and it's only Jax who can find anything at all. Complexity, they'll completely whitewash that pistol round.
That was quick, mate. That was very quick. Let's just say Complexity just absolutely shutting down G2. G2 didn't really find their footing at all in that round. Jax finding one frag, and that's it. Config goes... Not even Config, excuse me. Poison, my bad. Poison goes down. But yeah, beautiful pistol there for Complexity. And this is something that I mentioned before we went into this one. I think this is a strong map for Complexity. That pistol, in my opinion, showed that. But obviously, we got a lot more rounds to go. Blamef with the M4 for the second round. Obviously, that means he doesn't have a whole lot of utility, but still got a little bit. Poison posted up here with the Scout. Trying to land some shots. Deals a bit of damage. Quite connecting with an 8. Beautiful stuff from Blamef. Poison hitting some gnarly shots out towards the long position. Still got 2 players out here. Oh, Config. That's more like it. Just SMG in the face of the opponents. Running and gunning. A nice little pop flash to help him out as well. 2-0 here for Complexity. Off to a pretty fast start.
Yeah, and Complexity, they pick up that conversion. They'll have G2 coming in with the rifles now. 5 AKs on the board for them. And, well, a decent amount of utility, to be fair. A couple smokes, a few mollies, quite a few flashbangs. And, well, G2 agree that, or at least with me, that they're a slightly favoured team here from the bookmakers. And, well, we'll see if that comes true. Obviously, Complexity with the standing NATO suffix is a bit of an unknown for them. But G2 will just be working out towards long, or towards party rather, as they try and look for an opening. A couple of players over towards this B side as well, but look at Complexity. They're trying to push in towards short to try and find a little bit of space. And with these SMGs, this works out well for them. It means they can probably take an early kill here, close range against the rifles. As Nex is going to be working through connector, the bomb's going to backtrack over towards this A site. Complexity. That's exactly what they wanted. An opening kill. Hunter gets taken down towards that B short position. And now G2, they're going to be heading in towards this A site. A scout for Poison does get a tag up onto Amanek as they push forward, but the smoke will block their vision, and the bomb is going to make its way over towards the truck and get planted. Amanek pretty low on HP, but will get it done. And now Jax pushing forward, gets one. Kenny S with the AK, not its primary weapon, would prefer the AWP here, but needs must for the G2 side as they sit themselves in a 3-on-3. The utility coming back in for Complexity as Amanek now next up in line. Try and find something. NATO Safix actually just pushing on towards a truck from MP9. Very bold through the flames. His teammate will trade him, and that leaves 2 versus 2. But with kills coming through either side, it's just Nexa against Poison. The scout is not going to be able to find the kill here. Surely Nexa will have it, and he will. G2, they pick up the opening gun round here and put a first on the board for themselves.
Yeah, the first rifle round, or not even the first rifle round for G2 goes their way. But Complexity, they were on a bonus round, so that actually works out very well for them, especially considering that they managed to take out 4 players on the G2 lineup. That means, as you can see right now on the left-hand side of your screen, it's not the best buy we see here for G2, and it is going to be difficult for them to find their footing early on if Complexity managed to continue to deal damage to them. Poison, though, that's a big miss from him.
Yeah, it looked like he wasn't really ready for the fight. He was trying to set up for himself, but Kenny S just went straight for him, has been taken down in return though by Blamef. Just banging their heads against the wall right now. And looks like it's going to be Complexity tying this game up. With just Kenny S and Nexa alive. It's
Oh, wait a minute. Kenny S, he's still got that AWP. Could potentially make something happen with it, but yeah, the bomb obviously dropped in Monster Tunnels. We saw him hit a gnarly shot already on Config. We know he's capable of hitting those shots. Nexa is the star player on G2. Ah, oh, come on, guys. I'm trying to build you up. Please.
I think if Nexa hadn't been hit by that nade over on short, he might have gone for it with the bigger HP value, but they're just going to chill by the looks of things. I don't really blame them. I mean, 2v4, not the easiest to win. Obviously, the AWP, the AK valuable weapons, and they don't really have much cash. So, carrying a couple of weapons forward, they're obviously not going to be able to drop anyone, Nexa and Kenny, because they won't be getting any cash in themselves. So it's going to be a bit of an awkward buy. They'll probably force up around it, I imagine.
Yeah, they should be able to. So Amanek is sitting on 4,000 before the round ends. Hunter sitting on roughly 2. Yeah, plenty of money here to reinvest into this round. Well, I say plenty. There's not like an abundance of cash here for G2, but they got the money. And again, obviously it makes perfect sense that they didn't go for that 2-on-4 situation, but for a hot moment, it looked like Nexa actually wanted to. But I think you're right. That nade probably made the difference in that scenario. Ooh, yeah, this is a weird buy from them.
Yeah, the reason I said they'd probably go for a force buy is because Nexa and Kenny S, they're both like around that 1k mark. So it's interesting that they actually buy down to about 1,500 per player, it's about 2k, as Kenny S has just burned in a Molotov. Good start for the G2 side here. And Jax will now try and acquire that weapon. He's got the AWP in his hands. He's got the big cannon to try and wield, but if he can find anything is a different question entirely.
Poison. Oof, the nade, the timing on that is pretty good. Actually deals quite a decent amount of damage, but that's a nice shot from Jax.
Yeah, they were boosted up around that sort of flower bed. Nice shot from Blame F, though, as he's now going to be sort of hemmed in from either side in towards Connector and Hunter on the Tech 9. We'll actually be able to take him off. An awkward angle there for Blame F to try and fight against the headshot player. But Nato Safix towards B. He's still handy with that M4, and it leaves it just up towards Nexa and Amanek. A 2 versus 3. To try and get themselves back into the lead of this game as they work in towards this site. AKs in both of their hands. 2 players here. They've got Rush towards the back of site to deal with, and Nato Safix over further away, but Amanek is just going to tap the Nato's head off. Rush will trade it out, and Nexa's now left 1 versus 2, and he's going to follow the exact same path of his teammate and find a kill in the exact same way. But luckily, nobody there to trade this time from Complexity. It's going to be Config who has to rotate his way over. He's going to come in through short. Can he do it silently? Yes, he can. Of course he can. And now he's going to swing in from short. Will he find the timing on towards Nexa? Yes, he will. Looking the wrong way. Config will get the kill. Looks like he's going to go and try and recover something. Decides, never mind. We'll just get the defuse through. Picks up an AK, and it will be Complexity taking the lead. So, you know, the caster's curse. I call a nice start to the game for G2, and maybe they have been working on Overpass, and then it all goes horribly wrong for them.
It's a little bit interesting. I actually just looked up the stats here for G2, and in the last 12 months, so the last year, they've played Overpass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and they've only won 2 of those. So it's like, at least for the last year, it's not a map that they play. I don't know, man. This is kind of a weird map for these two squads. It should be very easy for Complexity, but G2, as you pointed out, pretty good start to it. Still a very heavy CT-sided map, and G2 5 rounds on the board already on the T side. Could definitely help them out.
Yeah, Kenny S going aggressive with just a Tech 9 towards mid. Actually finds a kill on towards Poison. The AWP going down again for Complexity. Not had all too much impact with that weapon so far this game, Poison. And look at Blame's position. He's a sneaky one, isn't he? He's gotten himself in towards the park, but all the players are already past him, and now he'll find out the intel. This is an easy 2K. No, Blame F! Not like this. He gets both of them down oh so low, 26 HP between the both of them, but it's Complexity who will lose the man advantage here, and Config, he's going down. Jax has slipped in the back and just taking his head clean off. It's all up to Rush and Natto, and the low HP doesn't really matter in this situation. You've got 4 players to find.
G2 managing to put themselves in a very comfortable position. As we can see on the minimap, we got the 2 CTs closer towards the B-bomb side or towards T-spawn. Obviously, G2 just rushing up on the A-bomb side. Well, rushing, I say. Well, they get there eventually. Pretty methodical, though. They clear a lot of the site with mollies. They throw down the smokes. They want to make sure that they don't rush into the final 2 players sitting like on the bomb site. Still playing fairly smart here, G2. Good couple of frags to bring this one back. I'm loving that first weird decision from Kenny S where he just rushes out and finds a frag.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like a smart move when you look at it, but if you do look at it, it's actually pretty decent, because all he has is the Tech 9. He's been able to take Poison the AWP out of the equation. So a Tech 9 taking down an AWP is always lovely, and you can see Amanek having a decent round. It's not had a great game, but if he can work himself back into it, he's surely going to be a good player. He's obviously, I think Nex is IGLing, isn't he, at the moment for G2? So Amanek can focus himself on those sweet, sweet frags.
The AWP trade goes in the favor of Kenny S once again. Poison a little bit, not necessarily lackluster, but not hitting the shots that he typically do. Rough one here for Poison. He's lost the duel to Kenny S, whether he's on an AWP or just a pistol.
Yeah. And Hunter's just been able to slide his way in towards the B site. He gets Config, who was admittedly low HP, but still look a kill found, and now a 2-man advantage for G2. It's not looking good for the Complexity side in this one. As G2 sits 6-6 on the score, Hunter's going to perk his way in through the site. Rush, though, up on top of the sandbags. Not a position you expect a CT to be in. As he gets one and just slides off in towards short, going to try and take control of that position, allow G2 in through the monster tunnel. There's not really much he can do about 3 players approaching from that direction. The best he can try and achieve is holding off this player in connector. That's even if he's ready for him, as it's Nexa on the other side of that spammable door. And well, nice timing from Nexa. Swings out, takes the kill. And that leaves just Natto and Blame, as they're just going to hop their way away and save their weapons, allow G2 to a 7th. As this Overpass T side looking pretty good for G2 again.
Yeah, 7 rounds on the T side of Overpass is it's not unheard of, but it's a real good start to the game. Just to give you guys an idea, over the last 3 months in top 50. The stats wanna load up here. Overpass is slightly T-sided, actually. Huh. That's interesting.
I'd call it pretty 50-50. I mean, obviously, like, sort of 8 or 9 rounds is sort of where you want to be on the T side. G2 have a pretty good, decent chance of getting that. So
it's just not what I typically see when I watch games on this. I must admit, I haven't looked at the stats for quite a while on the maps here, but it seems like every time I see the map, it's still slightly favoring the CT side. And it kind of makes sense, because the rotation between the B side and the A side is not that far. And obviously, if you go for aggression towards the middle, it can be difficult for you to get that rotation down towards the B bomb side. There you have it.
Nope.
Oh, Rush. Calm down, buddy.
2 kills on a USP. He's going to get naded down finally by Amanek, but it's a 2v2, and Kenny down to 10 points of health. Surely this isn't going to be Complexity picking up a round with pistol. Surely not. Say it's not true. As there's a player in the back lines, had his Blame F with an MP9, ready and raring to strike, because he may not needed Poison. He's doing more work on the USP than he has on the AWP. As it leaves it just up towards Amanek. A 1 versus 2. Need to collect the bomb. Has been spotted out on the site. Blame F's going to start. Work his way a little bit closer, but with Poison getting dropped, Amanek, he has a much stronger chance. He checks them onto tunnel. Blame F hasn't gone aggressive, though. He's going to wait for when the time is right. 40 seconds on the clock. And now we'll take the peek. Amanek looking the wrong way, but it's a lot of damage done either way. And Blame F, he can't get the MP9 spray. It's a bit too long range. And Amanek will come out on top with the AK-47.
What a round from Complexity, though. They were on an eco. They were holding on to their money for this round to make sure that they can buy up with everything they got for the final round of the first half. And they still managed to bring it down to a one-on-one situation. Amanek just barely surviving that one. That was an intense round for Complexity, and Rush especially. Hitting some gnarly shots with that USP. Headshots galore. Complexity now with a little bit more to work with. We got the M4s, and it's Rush once again lining up the shots. Amanek gets taken down.
Poison is just on an M4 this round. He's not got that AWP. He's not got the weapon that he's so famed for using. Kenny S does. He's got the AWP. He can try and find an opening. Well, I say an opening. They've already got an opening. They can try and find another kill. Try and cement that lead as the utility is going to rain in on that B side. But Nato Safix is going to get the one. Kenny S trying to find the shot. He's trying to bounce away from the bullets as he left with just 3 points of health. And they're left with just 3 players, G2. Against the 5 of Complexities. They look to try and find a 7th here. G2 going to try and entry in towards this B site.
No, Nexa, no.
Work out. As Nexa kills his teammate, I think it was falling apart either way, but he's now left all on his lonesome, a 1 versus 5, and he's just cowering in the smoke. And as he makes his emergence, it will be Config taking the final frag, putting it to an 8-7 scoreline. G2 just with a short lead.
They see me shining, calling me a goddess, thunder and the lightning. I'm falling, I'm faster, making my way back, I'm close to home. I'm fighting harder, because I've come to claim my throne. Never letting go, these wings carry me. Live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. I'm running through the fire. Gonna let it
I'll take it. Yeah, reminding myself to just let go. Don't wonder how far I can fall. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out. Oh, 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 oh. Shooting through the clouds, I know it's alright, it's alright. Heavens are the limit now, let's fly just one more night, one more night.
Welcome back, everyone, to Complexity versus G2, second half going live. G2 coming out on top for that first half, 8-7 in their favor. Now they're going to be starting out on the CT side here. Let's see how that works out for them. Kenny, excuse me, going for a little bit of a duel early on, but quickly falls back to relative safety.
Yeah, I mean, G2, they took a bit of an aggressive little look in towards that B short position, not finding anything there because Complexity, they've got all their manpower over towards Bananas. They're working their way slowly forward, trying to find an opening themselves, and they managed to get them way all the way towards the outside of A site as now they use their limited utility in the pistol round to smoke off the stairs position. Config picks up the opening kill as they push forward, and it's going to be now Complexity able to get that bomb planted. Nobody from G2 is going to be able to just stop it, I don't think. But Amanek and Nexa, they're going to pick up a kill a piece as they push forward. Hunter, can he find one? Yes, he can. Nato Safix is the only person to find anything as they CTs, they push back in towards the site. He's Rush all on his own. A 1 versus 3, and he's able to get 2. Hunter now makes his presence known, but he can't find the shots, and Rush will win it out in a 1 versus 3. Puts Complexity at an even keel against G2. And they fight back on their map pick, Complexity. And they'll be able to stand tall for a little bit longer here. G2, I said earlier on that they probably have been working on this map if they were going to allow it to go through against Complexity here. And I mean, they are certainly putting up a decent showing, aren't they?
Oh yeah, that first half, they put up quite the numbers. They did real well in it. We gotta keep in mind, though, that they actually managed to win, I believe, 2 rounds that they shouldn't really have won. Complexity almost did the same on their CT side. Like, they had 2 very close rounds that they didn't really have any business winning. One of those rounds they actually managed to secure, where they just had 2 weapons and the rest of them on an eco. Beautiful stuff there from Rush. 1-on-3 situation, not something you see all that often in a pistol round, especially with the Glock. I mean, a little bit different. And he had the if he had the USP or even a P250.
Nice little smoke there. G2 will hold the Complexity side back towards that P site. However, with just the pistols on this force buy for G2, it's 5 deals across the board. It's still got a few smokes they can use. As Kenny S takes a big chunk of damage from the nade. Config will swing out and take him down. Amanek looking for shots himself, but all he can find is a big grey screen as he steps into the smoke, and Complexity will be able to push the way in towards the site. Nobody to stop them. And hopefully this time Rush won't need to 1v3 once more, as he does get the bomb planted. It should be G2 just going for that save, I imagine, because they can carry these Eagles into the next round. And you obviously won't be getting a bite in the next round, so a few Deagles here could help to make a bit of damage, a bit of dent in the Complexity economy. However, 5 players staying alive in this one will be a nice bit of cash earned for the T side.
Yeah, she pointed out it's something that we see time and time again. If you're getting caught outside of the bomb side and you lose a player very quickly and you don't have any chance of actually retaking the bomb side or getting much done in the round, there's no reason to throw those Deagles away. They also got Kevlar on a couple players. It makes real good sense here for G2 to just hold on to the Deagles. As you said, this was probably going to be more than likely pretty much a full eco for them, even if they all died in that previous round. So holding on to the Deagles gives them a bit more firepower. Furthermore, they don't have to reinvest into Kevlar or anything like that. That gives them a bit of extra money to work with when it comes to their utility. We see some smokes getting picked up here. Kenny is obviously going for that P250. He needs to save as much money as possible. He can get an early AWP. Decent positioning, but BlameF shuts him down. Amanek managed to deal a bit of damage though. Takes him down to roughly 50. Pretty good positioning here by Complexity. They're not going for anything too quick. Want to make sure that they test the waters before they jump straight in.
These 2 AKs of Galil should be enough for Complexity. I don't see any reason why not, especially in the 5-on-4, especially with the MAC-10s as well. They can quickly take down an unarmored opponent at close range. Kenny S is an unarmored opponent, and he's currently over towards the bank with a P250. Config's going to be working his way in towards this A site. Nobody in the site itself, as Kenny takes a lot of damage from the utility of Complexity. He's forced back down the stairs. Config's going to take up position to try and take him down. Axe carefully doesn't step into that spray. Bomb gets planted. Complexity, they should have themselves a pretty simple time of things now. 3 players to deal with. And Rush just swinging around the MAC-10. Actually gets taken down by Nexa. Complexity don't really want to give up too much more here. I mean, they can probably sacrifice Nato with that MAC-10. But that's probably it. This Config's just going to mop up too. It leaves Hunter all on his lonesome. And that's unfortunate. Config, you'll just bat him down through the wall. Quick headshot. And Complexity find double digits on their map pick.
Yeah, Complexity first to 10. That's a good start for them here to the second half. Now G2 with a bit of cash. See. Excuse me, I'm getting a coughing fit right now. Great timing on that.
Well, I'll take the reins for a bit then, I guess. Complexity, they've got themselves the 4 AKs, upgrading from those SMGs he had in the last round. And G2, they've got the rifles as well. And actually, they've gone for a double AWP setup here. G2 have got Kenny and Amanek on those weapons. We'll see if that's going to pay out early on here, because it's a big spend to go straight for those double AWP setups. See Kenny having a chance at a shot. It's actually Hunter who picks up an opening, but traded out towards that B short position. Nato Staffix keeps Complexity in the running for this one. There's double AWP still out there, still alive for G2. As they look to try and work back against this Complexity side. Complexity haven't really committed to anywhere as of yet. They've got Config out towards long, just trying to create a bit of space towards that A site. The bomb just over towards Connector, not committed anywhere. Amanek with the AWP towards A. Kenny's going to be positioned towards heaven, watching over with that B site. And now Complexity. Looks like they're going to set up some nades for this A site. Smoke over towards the bank position, or towards the site position rather. And then we'll try and play in front of that, and actually gets caught for a lot of damage. Has to back away. Misses the opening shot, but Kenny S will find one instead. He's pushing forward, denies the bomb plant. There's only 7 seconds on the clock. Complexity is all falling apart. Kenny pushes forward, and he's going to find himself a quick triple. Flame F will eventually take him down, but he's the last man alive, and the timer runs down. It's only him who survives. To denying the bomb plant. Kenny, a great push forward. Gets himself 3 kills. And Complexity waiting a bit too long to get in towards the site there. No real cover for that bomb plant.
Yeah, I love that smoke that they throw. It's so it's actually a smoke that Tai Lu came up with like 3 years ago or something like that. Maybe not. Maybe more like 2. You remember they had the Tai Lu strat on Mirage, which was just, you know, smoking off the bomb site, going for the bomb plant, and then falling back. Jax, that's a good smoke kill. And they actually have a similar setup here on Overpass, and that smoke is incredibly strong because it covers so many angles. But the problem is, if you throw that smoke, you gotta have another smoke for Optimus. If you don't, it's gonna be incredibly tough for you to get the bomb down. And with that little time left on the clock, doesn't quite work out there for them.
I was just watching Jack try and get up on towards those metal sort of pipes, metal girders, over towards the back of the monster position there. And it took him a few attempts. I think he's now up there. But he just kept sliding off. He's got butter on his feet.
Yeah, those, they don't make sense. Like, there's a lot of things in Counter-Strike that don't make sense when it comes to like gravity and stuff.
Yeah. You know what does make sense though? Amanek on an AWP, as well as Kenny S, someone even more so, as they both pick up a kill apiece from Kenny S. Oh, you almost expected that shot to come through, but Config quick on the trigger will deny Kenny S his life, but Amanek, I was gonna say, can hold down the fort. He can't. Blame F will deal a killing blow towards him, and now just 3 players alive for G2, but again, the time running thin and a player up towards a truck, but the kill was coming through too quick in succession there. Leaves it up to Jackson. He may just go for the save. Actually, was hoping that the bomb wouldn't get planted in time, but it has. And now he's got to try and retake this A site, try and secure G2 a 10th, as they had such a huge advantage. What was it, a 2 versus 4? 2 versus 5 for Complexity to try and win out. Either way, it's Jackson a 1v2, and he's going to try and work his way towards a site to take the first fight, wins it out, but Blame F immediately swings on the truck and trades it. Beautiful work from Complexity just to ensure that he's not able just to take a 1v1.
Only 1 player surviving here for Complexity, but what we gotta keep in mind is that the economy is in shambles here for G2. They don't really have any money to work with. They can afford a couple of upgraded pistols. Kevlar maybe on some players. We see Kevlar on Jax. I thought Amanek might go for it as well, but he actually decides against it. I think he'd rather want to try and see if he can get the AWP in the next round again. Yeah, giving a real good opportunity here for Complexity to finish off strong. It was G2 starting off strong here on this map. And now Complexity trying to bring it all the way back. Ooh. This could be very interesting. Oh! There you have it. That was awkward.
Yeah, Poise has not had a good time of things, has he, this game? And that's just another one to chalk up. As Kenny pushes him aggressive, takes him down, and that's an AWP now in Kenny's hands, and that's not what you want to see if you want the Complexity side, as Natto will find 1 kill. That brings it into the 4-on-4, but still they've got to clear out the B site. Config will start to do exactly that. I think Nail nets down 1, but gets a second. Kenny on the AWP starts to find some shots from that connected position as well. As the smoke to try and assist, his teammates will come in to support Blame F, and together they will crush the opposition. 12 on the board for Complexity.
You said it. Poison. I feel bad for him, man. He's been in so many duels with Kenny S where Kenny S just rushed forward and shut him down, and he does it in that round as well, picking up the AWP, finds another kill for his effort, but eventually Complexity do manage to bring it into their favor. That's an interesting smoke, obviously to cover off the initial molly. See that initial molly going out from the CT side down towards those steps quite often. And obviously a defensive smoke coming through there. But that also initially denies the vision from the AWP. On both sides, actually. So Complexity's AWPer can't really take that early duel with the AWP against an aggressive CT. See both AWPers just falling back. Eventually Complexity going for straight in towards the B from side, and Rush Convict opening up nicely, but Hunter is there for the trades. Poison gets a double with the AWP. Finally, he's finding some luck, or at least landing some shots. Amanek, not a whole lot left for him to do.
I mean, he wasn't doing too badly in the game as a whole. It just felt like whenever he picked up the AWP, it would go wrong, and he's put Amanek to 1 HP. Amanek has taken him down, but with 1 HP, there's not really much chance. A brief gust of wind will finish him off. So he's just going to back away, try and save that AUG. It's a weapon for the next round. They're not going to have much cash going forward. G2 Complexity are going to find themselves a 13th, and well, it was looking good for them as well. That 5v2 loss that G2 suffered in that prior round really hamstrings them for this game.
Three rounds away from shutting this one down, though. Complexity finding that, I guess, like 4th gear. We haven't seen them go absolute mental yet. Maybe they're finding their 5th gear, and we say this car that we're in right now has got 6 gears. I don't know. This analogy is not going the way I thought it would. Regardless, Complexity, they are pulling the numbers now. G2, again, a bit of a low buy for this one. They deal a lot of damage early on. Rush down to 1 HP. That's ridiculous. Rush needs to be incredibly careful now. Sitting over on that short position. Poison winning a duel. That's the weapon out of the hands of G2. Poison still patiently waiting for anyone else to try and pick up that weapon. NES finds the right timing, as he does against Poison.
Oh, this is awkward now, because Kenny has been able to get that AUG into his hands. Poison hasn't seen it happen. He's still watching for that angle, and Kenny's going to be able to rotate over towards that B site to provide a bit of assistance towards his teammates currently in connector. If he gets the time in here, he might be able to find a couple kills towards short. Complexity, they start setting up their nades. It's a 4-on-3 rush, though, just with 1 HP and a couple deagles and all for G2. It's surely going to be 14 for the Complexity side as the kills start to come through. Lame F entry is waiting towards the site. Next does get 1 with the deagle, but now it's all up to Kenny S as he's got a position towards short. He's trying to use a nade to take one down. Unfortunately, though, he's standing in the Molotov and he's attempting to find someone, but unfortunately, there's no escape for him, and Complexity, they find 14. He can't do anything. Trying to rotate in there.
Isn't that the 2nd time that Kenny has burned to a molly?
Yes.
He did in the first half as well.
He did over by near playground. Yeah. On that on the CT molly that sort of lands at the stairs.
I mean, he has been on fire to be
in more ways than one.
Yep, he's hit some gnarly shots, but he's also died to flames multiple times. This time around, he misses the early shot, though. Smoke out. It's gonna be difficult for him to take the repeat. Instead, he just backs off and tries to find a new angle to defend. Gonna be towards the short position. Gets information of a couple of flashes out towards long. Now the smoke out as well. Complexity have actually gained a lot of ground in this round. We see that Config. Oh, he's just gonna sneak his way through the smoke as well. Beautiful flashbang there. Amanek, he spots him though and takes him down.
That is a crucial shot coming through from Amanek there. If he goes down, the site is pretty much lost because Kenny would be in such a horrible position with this AWP, but luckily he'll able to hold looking forward. Hunter, though, going down towards Connector, will get immediately obliterated. Kenny is trying to remedy the problem by finding more, but he goes too overzealous. Rush will finish him off. A second kill for him in the round in Complexity. 14-9, a 3-on-3, 30 seconds on the clock. They are going to try hitting towards this A site, but the kills, they keep getting traded. Amanek with one more before he's taken down. That nade onto Jax will put him down low, and Blameth is just going to tank everybody. Well, that's playing Nexa from short, and Blameth checks for him, but can't find the shot, and Nexa will clutch it out with a 1 versus 2 from short. Denies Complexity the 15th, and will put G2 onto a 10th. Blameth did so much work there, but just couldn't find that last frag as they sort of bumped into each other there. You see on the replay.
Yeah, I think that was slight miscommunication between the two T players remaining, NATO and Blameth, both Danes, so there really shouldn't be that much miscommunication between them. That being said, running into each other, it's a bit of a rough one and allows Nexa to just pop up from that flank, shut them both down. He is taking a lot of damage early on into this round. Still up closest towards the A bomb site. 3 players initially defending down towards B here for G2. Still fairly slow and methodical for Complexity. They deal a bit of damage early on and then they just go back to the default. Aggression on short. So Sapix needs to be careful.
Config, he's been able to tie the player count up. Finding a kill on towards Jax, and Poison working his way through long here. Oh, that's a 3D there. Kenny S back turned, and Poison will get himself a nice little double. Opening up that A site, and Complexity looks set for a 15th unless there's some miracle retake here from G2, but Poison's position, he's going to be holding off any sort of rotations in from this underground position, and next up, probably going to have to rely on Hunter to try and find a bit of damage here. As Poison, he's going to find himself the triple. Hunter's all that remains in Complexity. They're set for a 15th. Great work from Poison.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Just sneaking his way up long, all on his lonesome. Hunter, what are you onto here? Yeah, there are no kits on the bomb site either, so he has no time for this. He's not going to get much done. He could potentially find an upgrade here. Might get the kill on Blameth. Steps, though. Blameth is just going to peek out and shut him down, but 2 players dying to the bomb.
Great work from Poison. That was sick. 3K coming through. And he gives Complexity exactly what they needed. 15-10. Complexity call themselves a timeout here, just to ensure that they are ready for this potentially final round. And I'll be hoping it is the final round, because that'll mean they've won.
Yeah, they're definitely going to put everything into this round to try and make it happen. And as we can see, G2, they don't really have a whole lot to put into this one. We got some SMGs pulled out already. Hunter and Amanek probably going to go for some SMGs as well, just to make sure they get a bit of extra utility to work with. Actually, Amanek going for the scout here. He is a pretty strong scout player. We see that from time to time. Could potentially be interesting for the early peek, but actually he decides against it. Peeks out towards long instead.
Amnek, he's posted up out towards long with that scout. He does have Nexa for a bit of support closer range with the MP9. This could be a setup that actually catches out Complexity here. If Nexa is able to find a quick couple of kills of his teammate taking the fire, he will. His teammate does fall, but a 2-1 trade is good for the G2 side. Nexa's able to hold down towards long, but still got Kenny S in towards Toilet for Famas, who's able again to go and get a kill, but only a 1-for-1. It's still G2 who have themselves an advantage. With Complexity, if they open the AK, they can try and win this one out. So up towards Connector is a bit of a battle as BlameF secures one. Jax will trade out and leaves it just up towards Poison, but the kill comes through, and now 1v1. Can Poison close this one down? He's going to smoke off towards Heaven. Next is already rotating in, but he's coming through the underpass. We're deploying Molotov to hold him back. Nexa is going to run through it. Oh, a cheeky push from Nexa. Poison, he held the angle for a moment, but didn't think to hold it for much longer. He wanted to go for the bomb plant. Nexa, 3k for him as he fights back, keeps G2 in this one.
There you have it. Look at this from Nexa. Gets the first two. Great setup of that long position, as you pointed out. Amanek just holding by a tree with that scout, drawing aggro, if you will. And Nexa up close and personal with that SMG. G2, they're not quite out of this one yet. A lot of damage dealt towards Complexity early on with nades. The Glock train. More damage. No damage dealt towards G2 just yet. Amanek, Hunter, Kenny S. They shut it down like it was absolutely nothing.
Well, that was just a shooting gallery, wasn't it? A 12th comes through for G2 as they stay alive a little bit further now. And Complexity, that timeout hasn't worked out too well for them. They're left still on that 15 scoreline. This is their map pick, so we'll be hoping they can pick it up. G2, as we were talking earlier on about the potential of G2 having worked on this map to let it go through based on their recent results on it. And they certainly look pretty decent on it at the moment. 12 to 15, they've given Complexity a run for their money. That's Complexity. Looks like they're just going to go for a B hit here as the utility rains down in. And now the Kenny, there's quite a lot of damage towards those players as they push forward. But Jax is lucky that Rush doesn't commit to the fight, and Jax still to get two from that position. Hunter swings out as well to find one, and then all these Complexity players are being hit hard. Only BlameF who remains, and Nectar's just going to nail him through the smoke. 13 is getting ever so close here for Complexity.
I'm not entirely sure what to say about that round. Beautiful stuff there from Jax, but he was only really capable of doing so because his opponent didn't commit to the peak. If you check the angle, make sure you actually check the angle.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He went for the, you know when you're playing with randoms, and you ask, did anyone check, and someone says yes, but no one actually checked it? That's kind of what he went for there.
Yes.
Amanek first again the double up setup here for G2. Kenny gets taken down. Rush living up to his name.
I mean, Complexity, a couple of weapons found and a few kills found. Natto on the up. He's going to be able to pick up one, and Hunter's low HP, trying to fend off players from both angles. G2, they're crumbling in the final round here. It was against Pistols and Complexity. They've been able to salvage themselves a 3-on-1, salvage weapons, double AWPs, an AK for BlameF. It's all up towards Jax, but they don't have armor. That is his saving grace here. He has a Molotov and a flashbang to use. 50 or 45 seconds on the clock as they're going to get that bomb planted. Natto gonna get that one down. Jax now has to try and clutch this one out. 13 kills to his name so far. He needs to find a few more here. That nade is absolutely perfect. It tags him down by 40, and he's now left with a little bit less HP, but the same task to achieve. And he tries to get the fight on BlameF. Will win it out. Looks for a little bit more as he's Molotovs over towards a truck. There's nobody there. They're both playing over towards this toilet position, towards the short position, and Config with the AWP will finish it off.